This is August 31st, 2019. And, I hear there's some ruins that belong to some weird-ass inbred guy named, I don't know what his first name was, but everyone just referred to him as Tard. But I found this, little valley that's just surrounded by poison ivy. That doesn't look ominous. So, be wary of, any wild animals. I don't want to come across any coyotes or foxes or whatever. Some broken glass. What the fuck? A stone foundation here. What the hell is this? Almost looks like the remnants of an old military bunker. Huh. Keep going here. There's even more. Look at that. Jesus. Just keeps going. How big was this building? What the hell? Oh man. Wow. Right by the river. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about this guy's. Getting sick or something out here. Anyway. Fuck. You hear that? I got a bad feeling about this, guys. I think I'm just gonna get out of here. I just shit, that's him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fucking shit, shit. Okay, I think I lost him. Ran around the woods and back. Fucking rooster is gonna give away my fucking position, man. Shit. I think I lost him. Look, I might not have much time left. In case I don't make it out of here, there's a USB underneath the backyard of my house. It has my Blair Witch review. If someone finds it, please just upload it. Get it out there. Shit, he's coming back.
I know you're in there, Darian. I can hear you breathing.
What the fuck? How do you know my name?
I've been watching you for some time. I just saw your Blair Witch game review.
How the fuck is that possible? I didn't even upload it yet.
You gave it a bad review, Darian. Now I'm really angry. I liked it. You're always too harsh. Now you're in for a real butt fuck.
No. I already told you. You don't need to do that, okay? It's just agree to disagree.
Well, that's your mistake for giving me the idea.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Oh my
You knew
god.
what you were in for when you said what you said, and now it's time for the rapening.
Well, good luck coming in here, motherfucker. I locked the door.
I don't need the door. There's an opening right above it. Here I come. Yeah!
Whatever you do, please don't rip my pants. They're expensive. Ah! Okay, but please don't tear open my underpants. I got them for Christmas.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I love the original Blair Witch Project movie, the one that came out in 1999 that scared the living shit out of everyone. It was so convincing because it was the first movie that did the whole documentary style horror. It is considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Probably the best contemporary horror movie that came out in the last 25 years or so. Um, I never saw the 2016 remake. I heard it was nowhere near as good, so I kind of passed on it. At no point in my life did I ever imagine anybody making a Blair Witch game. I didn't think it was possible to make a good Blair Witch game because all it is you walking around getting scared shitless and eventually getting fucked. Well, as it turns out, apparently I was right. It is really hard to make a good Blair Witch game, because this one kinda sucks. Let me start off with the story. It's so predictable. A man joins a search team looking for a missing boy who was kidnapped by a psychopath who kinda worships the Blair Witch. The game has little to nothing to do with the Blair Witch herself. Um, it's one of those really predictable endings where, I have PTSD and main character was the monster all along and shit. So you know what? I don't fucking give a shit if I'm spoiling it because it's so predictable anyways. The more you play, the more predictable it just gets. It does the whole cliche, mirror image that a lot of horror movies and horror games do. Silent Hill did it a few times, and it's repetitive now. It was interesting 20 years ago, but it's such a really overdone plot twist that it's no longer like a plot twist. It's just you can really see it coming. So the story is very disappointing. Um, let's talk about the gameplay. The graphics are okay for a low budget game. Like I said, the gameplay is mostly just a walking simulator where you gotta figure out where the hell to go and what to do with your dog. Your dog's your main companion in this game. He helps you find clues to progress. He fetches things like a candy wrapper, sticky ass candy wrapper, and a dirty sock that actually looks suspiciously like a used condom. Where the hell have you been looking, dog? So let me talk about the dog commands. You can tell your dog what to do, whether to stay or stay close to him, or a bad dog, good dog, you can pet him, or you can tell him to look for things, which is what you need to do during certain parts of the game to keep him going. The problem with these dog commands is that they are broken. The 80% of the time when you hold LB to bring up the command menu, nothing shows up. It just says call, and that's all you can do. It takes a few times every single time to tell a dog a command because the command control is it's glitched, it's broken, and yeah, that took off some major points in my assessment for the game. Um, and that's not the only bug in this game. Trust me, there are quite a few more to come, but I'll get to them later. You also, of course, have these collectibles. Some of them are really pointless. Actually, most of them are really pointless. You come across little effigies, carved wood things that are they look like fucking turds instead of what they're supposed to look like, I guess. And a few collectibles are um, do have some meaning behind them. They do offer some backstory, like some documents, but that's really the only collectible you're really gonna want to look for. Otherwise, it's just repetitive padding, fake replayability are the collectibles. Kind of brings me back to the Order 1886 and how those collectibles were kind of pointless. Um, Now, there is kind of a combat system in this game, although the game does not do a good idea. It doesn't do a good idea telling you what the fuck to do, so naturally, it took me quite a few deaths to realize that instead of running away, I had to point my flashlight at these mysterious monsters to make them go away. Um, yeah, it doesn't tell you this. There's no hints, no clues, no anything, so I'm used to Outlast where all you have to do is run away or hide or whatever, so I just ran around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off for so many goddamn times until I finally figured out what the hell I was supposed to do in this combat encounters. So yeah, there's a flashlight combat in this game, I guess you could call it. It's like being able to hit Slenderman with a flashlight if Slenderman can get hit by light or whatever, but couldn't tell apart. Anyway, another gameplay aspect. Now, this one's actually pretty interesting, if not a bit illogical. Um, you have a tape recorder. Where when you find red tapes, you can use these to alter the reality, almost like going back in time, or like quantum breaking the whole environment, so that you can pass through it. Like if you have a locked door, and if you find a tape recorder of a guy, running for his life, opening a door, and you pause it at that point, he can, you can pass through the door. Um, there's kind of a problem here too, where you kind of have to time your pausing on the tape exactly right in order to really go through it. I had quite a bit of problems with the whole environment altering in this game. Um, I don't know if it's in the lore of Blair Witch. I never saw the remake, and maybe I'm forgetting something about the original where they get to alter the time. But it just doesn't make any sense. And honestly, it'd be just more logical if they just make you find like a key or something, or a fire extinguisher to take out a fire, etc., etc., instead of doing this illogical, weird back in time loop thing that I can't explain it. There's no real logical explanation. But then again, it's Blair Witch, and it's a ghost thing, and so maybe it doesn't need to be logical. Um, but it is, for the most part, kind of fun to figure out the puzzles in this game. It is a little frustrating. Now, speaking of frustrating, everything else in the game is frustrating as shit. It's frustrating, it's repetitive, it's boring, you know? It's too complex. There's no objective markers, there's no objective clues, there's no there's no real way to remind yourself what your goal is or where you have to go. 90% of the time, man, you're just going to get lost in this game because there's going to be some places where it looks like you can move there, but you can't because the game built up invisible out of boundaries to prevent you from walking further, even though it just looks clear that you can walk over there. Um, Now, I like games that don't hold your hand, and I like the challenge of trying to figure out where to go, but this game just gives no encouragement or incentive for you to want to know where to go. It's just so goddamn frustrating. There's nothing to go by. There's not even a reference of like landmarks and stuff to be like, oh, okay, I landed back here. And even if there is, it's bullshit because this game does a huge mindfuck on you where, it even though you're not walking in circles, you just go back to the way where you are. It's supposed to be scary, but in video game form, it's not. It's tedious. It's fucking annoying. In movies, yeah, it's spooky and scary, not in video games. This is why certain movies wouldn't adapt to video games right. Um, yeah, getting lost should not be this easy in linear style games. I understand if you're getting stuck on a puzzle or something, but getting actually lost in your path is so. It's just so painful to play. It's just. It's not right. It's not right.
Well, can't go this way. Can't go that way either. I already looked in this area.
That's why it's never a good idea. Just because a movie is great doesn't mean a video game adaptation is going to be great, and vice versa. Imagine if someone made a fucking kindergarten cop movie. Would I want to play that shit? Hell no. I don't want to play a game where I'm trying to take care of 25-year-old kids and fucking peeing their pants and just jumping all over you and shit, man, and go home and be tired as fucking have no energy bar. No, I don't want to play that shit. There's a reason why it's a movie. I don't want to play it in video game form. Damn that. Every time you turn your camera, there's really bad screen tearing. The frame rate is bad, the screen tearing is bad. Just everything is just made so clunky and just feels unfinished. Like this glitch in the doorway at the end of the game. The last area of the game has this doorway where I don't know if they didn't make it tall enough, but you have to crouch in order to fucking get through the goddamn thing. As if you're like 8 feet tall. It's just shit like this that pisses me off. Now, at first I thought it was a game-breaking bug, and it's not, but it almost is, and it's still a really bad bug. You know? The plus side about this game is that it's only $30, but, it's just the quality isn't there. I know, 5 to 7 hours, depending on how long you get stuck in certain levels. Yeah, it's fine for 30, but the quality, it just isn't there. It kind of brought back memories of Outlast 2. Yeah, it's at least 4 hours, as much as 6 hours long. Sure, the content, is worth the price, but what about the enjoyment? If you're not enjoying the game, it's just not there. And I personally didn't enjoy it. Hell, even the typos were not proofread. Like, scheme of fear. Oh, okay, whatever. Pretty sure you left an R out there. I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for this fucking game to end. No, I'm gonna leave things off on a positive note by saying that some of the atmosphere and the sense of dread and the intensity in the game is actually pretty good. It actually got to me a little bit, especially the ending, the last level where you gotta like sneak past certain enemies without looking at them, or else they'll charge at you and kill you. Like that's a pretty intuitive thing, I must admit, and I actually kind of enjoyed that part. There's also really good sound design too. It's got pretty good sound. Um, Not as good as Hellblade in terms of um, the sound design and stuff, but it's still really good for a game of its low budget. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. It's not good, but it's one of those fours where like I didn't, but if you enjoyed it for what it was, it's okay. You know, there's no need for backlash. There's no need for, you know, finding out where the hell I am and butt fucking me and whatnot. It is what it is. You either like it or you don't. And unfortunately for me, I didn't like it. I got too frustrated with it. Um, Now, if you're a big fan of Blair Witch and you don't mind these issues or whatever, or if you don't consider these issues, I suggest you buy some Game Pass because it's actually on Xbox Game Pass. And if you haven't bought any Game Pass yet, you can buy it now for $1. Or I believe it's still on sale for 2 months for $2, I think. You can get it for that. That's what I did. Um, and so I only wasted $2 for, trying some of the games I wanted to try, and Blair Witch was one of these games. Um, so yeah, guys, sorry, I really wanted to like this game, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy it. It's it's too frustrating. It's like The Last Guardian, which I also played this summer. It had potential, but I just didn't like it just because of how frustrating it was, controls and all. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, whether you like it or not. Give reasons if you want. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching.
The Gamer Gods!